All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all praises and highest honors to Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father in Paleo Ancient Hebrew, and to Yahweh Shai, the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, his name in Paleo Ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone and Rule Well, and salutations to you few brothers that preach, teach, and prophesy his word, truth, and sincerity of the hopeful elect. To you few sisters out there of the hopeful elect, I bid you shalom. It's the brother Haryaga from the Grand Rapids, Michigan camp, here with another nifty lesson. Let's get into it. So this is part two, because what I did in part one was basically go over the coming Civil War. All right, and one of the things that the Jake Sniper, um, Nicholas, Lord, I forgot his name already. Well, let me just play that. I'll run it back. Okay, it's Nicholas Irving. I started out my other lesson by going over something he said, because I'm an Army veteran myself, and not as accomplished as him, of course. But what he's saying is absolutely true. And, you know, the state of society is crumbling around us, and it's an intentional thing because it's all part of the autoad chaos, order out of chaos. You know how people wear the anarchy A, the A with the circle around it. It's a representation of, or a symbol of anarchy. And in a civil war, that's basically what would transpire. Is anarchy. And they would bring in the military and the drones and the robots to reestablish that order and use it to ramp up martial law, so to speak. Now, listen to what he says, and then I'll go into something different.
We're heading toward another war right here. Yep. In the good old U.S. of A. Been preaching it. We're due for one. We're due for it. I'm telling you, we're due for it. I think eventually this bubble's going to pop. That's my theory. I don't think that this can go on for too much longer. I give it like to 2030 before. I don't think we're going to make it to that far, but we're on a slippery slope towards another civil war. And I'm not going to say I'm cool with that. I think a lot of people think they want it, but I don't think they're ready for the type of environment and the people who operate in environments like that. I don't think they're ready for that. You know, the last thing, and I was talking to my wife about it, the last thing you want is guys like me out on the streets fighting a war with no rules of engagement, where I make up my own. And you don't want that. The average civilian's not ready for that. Like, why is Nick doing that? Why did Nick do this to me? Because only Nick matters. Only my family. At the end of the day, yeah, guerrilla warfare is a bitch. And you're my friend one moment, but the next moment, if you got something I want or I need to take care of my family, I won't let you know about it. And I'm going to kill the block. That's the way it should be. That's war. We're heading toward another war, right?
Yes, that's what war is. I'm being an Army Ranger, sniper. You know, and he did several tours. Look, he knows what he's talking about. And somebody that's trained to do it, not just military, even these militias and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a whole nother playing field for them, because that's what they train to do. They're training for that day. But no matter what you do in that training, if the Lord isn't with you, it's a wrap. So you can train, and get taken out, you know what I'm saying, by some illegitimate, person that has nothing to do with anything, just crashes into you or just, whatever, man. I think a good show that conveys that pretty well is Black Summer. I think they still got that on Netflix. I don't know. But that was awesome, pandemic show. zombie type shit. Yo, it was very good. Motherfucker just be main character and just get hit by a person fleeing from a whole nother situation, and then they have a whole nother story to their situation. So it's crazy, man. But nonetheless, that is the mentality of what's about to happen. That's why I read Second Ezra 15 and 15, because on down. And within it, I think it's 15 and 16. Hey, it's going to be cats going against each other, raiding homes, coming for your supplies. If they think you got what they need for their family, all of that friendship shit goes out the window. That's why I'm not quick to call somebody friend, because in times of great distress and emergencies, um, a lot of people don't know how to withstand that much pressure, and they will respond irrationally. And in return, you have to neutralize them for the safety of your family and loved ones. Now, listen to what Ricky Smiley has to say, which, hey, at least he's that much aware of what's about to transpire, man. Okay?
I'm not trying to scare nobody, but we are in danger. If you haven't been watching the news and checking out everything that's going on, we're in a lot of danger right now. Because the Constitution, the United States Constitution, as we know it, they about to cut all through that. And we are accustomed to having rights. All of your rights, all of our rights is at risk right now. That whole Make America Great Again, as far as this administration and the way he is going and the way things are going, and when they say great again, that means your ass don't have no rights. If you go and watch Joy Reid videos, if you get an opportunity to watch Joy Reid videos, go watch them. You'll learn a lot, especially her video on slavery. Oh, we're gonna wait till the midterm election comes. Ain't gonna be no midterm election. You better look into getting a dual citizenship somewhere if you can, because things about to get ugly. Things about to get really, really ugly. Yep, and I'm scared. Scared. It might be a point where we might have to pack up our families and leave, because if ICE can get immigrants or whatever and just go and get them, and without their due process in court, why can't they do it to everybody else? Now they're doing it to Haitians. And who do you think is next? And they don't give a damn if you're a Democrat or a Republican. They don't care.
Fair use. Fair use. Fair use.
Nah, they don't care. Get ready. These white supremacy concentration camps, they're all over the country. They're stocking up on weapons and everything, as if they are preparing for a war, while we out here popping fans and boots on the ground. They got real boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and the thing about it is, I don't care what you file in court. The Trump administration defied federal judges' court orders and stuff, because what's going to happen? They can't put him in jail. He has control of the military. What's going to happen if he defies a court order? He's the president, right? Okay. Keep your eyes open. Go to Joy Reid page. Go listen to what Roland Martin has to say and try to figure out if ICE come and snatch any of us up, what you gonna do? What rights do you have? Even if you have rights, what's the consequence of somebody doing something to you with this administration? Think about it.
Yeah, that's real business, Comedian and radio show host Ricky Smiley. I mean, he was truthful in what he was saying. A lot of people are we're Americans. I'm born an American. I was born in America. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing they can't do. I wish you stepped the fuck up talking about what America and what these politicians can and can't do when they're defying that right before your eyes. When Trump came in the term his first time, he already signed everything over into FEMA. Okay? So this country in itself is just waiting for that one major black swan event so they can have a state of emergency all across the US and they can use that to implement all kind of laws. They already just passed a framework for the mark of the beast RFID microchip, which is the Genius Act. Trump signed that into law. Digital currency bill. Everything is rolling out. Time is speeding up. And now, guess what? The ultimate goal is to come after you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. Right. He said, they out here and they got military boots on the ground. Y'all niggas out here doing these dumbass boots on the ground dances and all this. Man, I'm telling you, Jake, 2/3 of our people are so distracted and they wonder why they're going to be destroyed. Jeremiah 15:5. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Jerusalem is a people before a place. We are Jerusalem. Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside? Or who shall go aside and ask how thou doest? Nobody cares about what's happening to the plight of the so-called black man, Latino man, Native man around the world. Nobody's raising a concern. And so how much more so they've been, conditioned to think that way. We are at the bottom. So how much more so when, all of these different laws are implemented that enforce and give them the right to just come down with lethal force and bring in this chip aggressively and put us in concentration camps. They already got these Gestapos, these ICE agents and these military out here, dog. They out here. They already in all these major cities. Some of them you can see them in LA and others you can't. But they're there and they're waiting. And they've been in place waiting to be activated. And thou hast forsaken me, saith Yahweh. Thou art going backwards. This is Jeremiah 15:6. Therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee and destroy thee. I am weary with repenting. This is how the Lord feels about 2/3 of our people. Y'all want to do this boots on the ground and dancing and celebrating when he said, watch as well as pray and look up. He said in the scriptures in New Testament, your salvation is closer, nearer than thou knowest. You know what I'm saying? Like it's right upon us. This delivery is right upon us. And the majority of our people is just distracted, trying to continue to live in this kingdom. They want to live a normal life and they want everything to carry on as it was, when in reality, the Most High is taking it through this course of action before we are officially freed as a people and delivered out of this place. All hell has to break loose. You can't just sit back and think that you're gonna live this comfortable life, like the scriptures say. Joshua waxes fat and kick. Joshua is translation for the first. Our people are the first. Is chosen. And you just waxing fat mean kicking it, having just sitting back, living lavishly, just relaxing, even in your poverty. And I will Jeremiah 15:7, and I will fan them with a fan in the gate of the land. I will bereave them of children. I will destroy my people, since they return not from their ways. 2/3 of our people refuse to return from their nigga ways. They refuse that, man. All right. Let's continue though. I got a couple more videos to show. And the way they have the system set up, you can be targeted just for having a Hispanic last name. I showed this on the last video. I want to show this as an introductory to the next video I'm going to show. Okay. Like he said, you should be alert. Like he said, he's scared. They can easily turn the script on us, which they will. Check this out.
Basically, you guys told me you have no idea who I am or what I am, yet I gave you my license. What is happening? And then, like, you asked my social security number. That's never happened before. He's like, well, in all honesty, you can thank ICE for this one. I was like, what? He's like, you know, your name. I was like, so because I have a Hispanic last name, I'm flagged in ICE? He's like, well, you're not just flagged, you're kind of removed from everything.
Well, they're gonna start saying you have a Haitian last name or you have an African American last name. They're gonna start. It's all, you know, basically pussyfooting around the root of the problem or the elephant in the room, which is eventually ICE, and with the aid of the military, will be utilized to round up everybody. Now check this out. Okay, this is just falling into that. You know, people. You do have so-called Mexicans that are Americans that was born here. Oh, well, DACA, that blah, 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 it's a bullshit. That were born here, generations into being here, and are being targeted. Check this out. Yeah. Hey, it's like indictment time. When the feds get to making a sweep, one thing to understand though, 2/3 of our people, you know, they don't want to hear this word. We got Native Americans, Latinos, Negroes coming together preaching this word, but the majority of each of our tribes don't want to hear it. They want to continue to be Christians and Catholics and Muslims and all this dumb shit. And they wonder why the Most High. It's the same thing from the past, man. We wanted to go and worship other gods and go after other nations and be like them, and then we individual like the northern tribes got conquered by the Assyrians because they were worshiping the golden calf and doing all of these wicked things, worshiping other gods, and they fell away from the Most High. So this is why this is happening, and then it's translating over into them messing with the Haitians, and then on to the so-called Negroes and natives, and nobody will be exempt. Okay, well I said right there, and I will fan Jeremiah 15:7, and I will fan them with the fan in the gates of the land. I will berate them of children, because they've been snatching their children as well, even from foster families. I will destroy my people since they return not from their ways. All right. And that's these ways that we picked up in this country are incorrect. You know, Jeremiah 15:8, their widows are increased to me above the sand of the seas. I have brought upon them against the mother of the young men a spoiler at noonday. You saw they was doing it in broad daylight. That was somebody's son. They really been snatching up the men and the women, but mainly the men, dog, that I've seen lately. I have caused him to fall upon it suddenly and terrors upon the city. And they going throughout the city making this happen, dog. It says, Jeremiah 15:19, she has borne 7 languishes. She has given up the ghost. Her sun is going down. While it was yet day, she has been ashamed and confounded. And the residue of them will I deliver to the sword before the enemies, saith Yahweh. And history repeats itself, dog. This is coming again. And we are already in the midst of it. Okay? Woe is me, my mother, that thou hast borne me a man of strife and a man of contention to the whole earth. I have neither lent on usury, nor men have lent to me on usury. Yet every one of them doeth curse me. Let me see what that says in NLT. Let's look at that real quick. That caught my interest. So let's go to the interlinear. Right. Hold on. My bad. I had to go to the translation comparison. It says, then I said, Jeremiah 15:10. This is in the NLT. Then I said, what sorrow is mine, my mother? Oh, that I had died at birth. I am hated everywhere I go. I am neither a lender who threatens to foreclose, nor a borrower who refuses to pay. Yet they all curse me. So you can be this honest citizen. You got a lot of them that they're going after. They're going to these jobs and getting them. It's not like they're the ones that Trump is making seem like, oh, they ain't paying it. They just taking up America's money and they're sitting back, sucking up all this money and not doing anything. They're literally going to these farms and getting them. They're going to these different construction sites and these jobs and getting them. The ones that are working. It's crazy. But they not supposed to be going after all of the gang members and the killers and the murderers and the child molesters. It's all bullshit, man. It says 11th verse. It says Yahweh replied, I will take care of you, Jeremiah. Your enemies will ask you to plead on their behalf in times of trouble and disaster. Can a man break a bar of iron? Oh, well, and that's what's going to come. If you see, a lot of the things that's taking place, just watch how everything 222. That's what time it is. As you can see up in the corner, but that's what time we're coming into. Even your enemies is going to, hey, when all hell break loose, even your enemies is going to try to ask for forgiveness and plead for mercy, man. Because this is about to get real. Now, look at this. Yeah, that's that good old boy spirit. It ain't never left Esau. This is how they really feel. Okay? All these so-called patriot group, aka, white supremacist groups coming out the woodworks now. And now the situation is definitely getting nifty. Because amongst the Civil War, I'm gonna show you that even though the race wars are imminent and they'll happen in the midst of that, but it's really the government that's stirring these things up. And one thing each side has in common is that they're all against what the government is doing. Check this out. All right, now check out this white supremacist dude, militia. Undercover FBI agent reveals how he stopped a plot to kick off civil war in America. Check this out. I'm going to have to ask the question. And if the answer is no, then the penalty is death. I may very well have to put a bullet in my back of my dad's head. Their views are this. They believe that society is going to collapse on its own or from man-made events, and they want to speed up the collapse of society. And they want to do it through guerrilla warfare tactics. We take out a power grid. We take out a water system by poisoning it. So at that point, I'd gained enough trust to be brought in to the murder plot. You're talking about going and buying catch bags that attach to your AR so it catches the brass so you don't leave it. We're going to leave all of our electronics at a campsite. We're going to go to a pay-by-the-hour motel. We're going to scrub ourselves, make sure there's no dead skin that can come off. When I went back to the office to run the FBI's training, I told everybody, the 19-year-old led carbine training, and it was good. They could get the drop on a lot of average Joes.
So I guess I hadn't heard of this group or even groups like this prior to hearing you talk about it.
A lot of people have. A lot of law enforcement has it.
I bet, man. And it's pretty shocking stuff that we'll be talking about. But I guess similar to the Outlaws, just explain to people kind of what this group's ideology is, and then how you ended up getting into it.
Sure. So the accelerationist white supremacy view goes like this. Number one, they hate the government. So don't think Republican, Democrat, right, left. That's not it. They hate the government. They want a Hitler's Germany. That's what they want, which is what a neo-Nazi usually wants anyway. But with accelerationists, they go about it by different means. An accelerationist is their views are this. They don't believe there's a political solution that can save the white race. They believe that society is going to collapse on its own or from man-made events, and they want to accelerate. They want to speed up the collapse of society because in their mind, when the collapse of society happens, then they can come in, clean house, and have their own ethno-state. That may not necessarily mean the entire United States, but I can tell you that when I was in the base, my cell, CELL, was looking at property. My cell and the Maryland cell were looking at property in the Appalachian Mountains. There was a Northwest, Midwest, Detroit, out of Detroit area in Michigan. They were looking at property in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. The Pacific Northwest, they already had property. The leader of the base had property in the Pacific Northwest. So that kind of compound idea, we run our own thing, we are our own doctors and everything. Again, not a lot of afterthought on some of that stuff, but that's the idea. And they want to do it through like guerrilla warfare tactics. You're not going to see an accelerationist out on the street in a hood and a robe, or walking down the street with signs protesting and yelling racial slurs. They don't want to do that. They believe, number one, that makes them a mark, lets everybody know who they are, and it does no good. What they believe is, let's do guerrilla warfare tactics. Let's do small attacks, like we take out a power plant or power grid. We take out a water system by poisoning it. You kill lefties, you kill anti-fascists, you kill non-whites, burn their businesses, stuff like that, slash their tires, anything to create chaos, to start the downfall of society. So a lot of times when I'm teaching, I say, like, remember that year when everything was being burnt and towns were being, they're sitting up on a hill and they're laughing. They're like, man, we hope the cops start shooting these people start shooting the cops, when we can come in and clean up afterwards. And that is one of the plots we uncovered in that case. Something very similar. They were going to start popping rounds at a Second Amendment gun rally protest that was going to be in January of 2021 in Virginia.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm going to have to.
That was an FBI agent giving you the skinny on the situation. Yeah. So these accelerationists, these Edomites that are ready to get this started, sit back with their arms folded, and they get little, like, I even seen it to where they have videos of, matter of fact, hold on. All right, so this is accelerationist, right? Or something that accelerationist or a government accelerationist would do, right? Whether it be one of these white supremacist groups or the government. These are the things that they do to accelerate, this civil war situation, right? Check this out.
In 2010, he held up multiple tri-state banks, and the surveillance video hit probably every newscast in Cincinnati.
It's something you would see in a Hollywood movie. I don't think any of us has seen anybody do anything like this. Talk to cops.
This is the bank robber.
We believe to be an African-American male.
Hamilton County prosecutor Joe Dieter says people were convinced they knew this guy.
We had it on video.
They pointed at the same guy, the same house. They were sure it was this man.
Put out a Crime Stoppers tip, and we got about 5 or 6, 7 phone calls. I know that guy. He lives on this street. He lives in this.
That's messed up. Now they got AI that can do that too. Yep. So free speech, fair use.
Particular house. And when the detectives went to that house, they knocked on the door. His mom answered it. She said, I know why you're here. I just saw on television my son robbing a bank.
This is that woman's son. Take a look. He looks incredibly like the guy in the surveillance video. Police took the son, whose identity we were not given, into custody. Then they got a call from another woman who said they had the wrong guy, that it was her boyfriend who robbed the bank. And this is her boyfriend, Conrad Zerdiak.
Actual perpetrator was white as could be. He had bought a theatrical mask from Beverly Hills, which cost a few $1,000s. And it's very lifelike. And he had it on. And it looks like the guy they called Crime Stoppers about.
I mean, his mom said.
His mother said it.
He did it.
He did it. It looked just like her son.
Sunglasses covered Zerdiak's blue eyes. Gloves covered his hands.
That just tells you don't believe what you see all the time.
In 2010, he held up multiple tri-state banks, and the
God damn, Jake can't win for losing, dog. When you see the Jake, and then they had the goddamn mask, man. Oh, man. This is Deuteronomy 28:37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether Yahweh shall lead thee. All right, in that proverb, right, being called black, even being called a nigga, monkey, all these derogatory names. If you calling them anything outside of Israelite by their respect or by their respective tribes, that's a byword, okay, an insult. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether Yahweh shall lead thee. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. And that's Esau, Edom. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Right, and that's what they do. So first and foremost, who's the one that's criminalized around the world, whether they even seeing a black man or not? So-called black man, they considered him evil, bad. Until they meet him, they be like, man, y'all ain't so bad. Like, why? Because Esau, Edom told them that shit. They spread that byword around the world that we bad people, and Lord knows we not. And every nation finds out firsthand that we're not. Psalms 50 and 19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Esau, Edom, so-called white man. It says, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. And that's some slander right there. Not just talking shit, but go so far as to put on a Jake mask, a nigga face mask, and then rob multiple banks. And then they had the man's mama thinking he did the shit. Like, damn, man, that's a fucked up situation. And that's the same thing that they're going to be able to do with this AI, man. These things hast thou done, and I kept silent, that thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. Right, and this is what you see is us getting set in order. I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. We getting put, look, starting with the elect, the hopeful elect, Great Millstone, Apostle Tahar on down, and the following camps outside of that follow the same doctrine. We being set in order before their eyes, man. Why? Because we finding out who we are, what our nationality is, unifying, man. And that's power. They say knowledge is power. We know who we are, where we're from, where we're going. You know, it says, Psalms 50 and 22, now consider this, ye that forgot the Most High. Right, because all of this stuff that they've been doing to us, they thought that the Most High was like them. That's why they took this image and painted that lie, the Cesare Borgia, so-called white man, image of Jesus Christ, if you will, because his name ain't Jesus Christ, is Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, all right, in the Paleo-Ancient Hebrew. But they'll take that image and they post it, and anytime you call on Jesus, that's the individual that you calling on. It's not Yahweh Shai. Whenever they say that name, that image is painted in their mind. Now consider this. Ye that forgot the Most High, at least I tell you in the pieces, and there be none to deliver. Whoso offereth praise glorifies me. And to him that ordereth his conversation aright, will I show the salvation of the Most High. Let's look that up real quick in the NLT. We're going to get up body. Translation comparison. Let's see. NLT. Let's jump up real quick. Psalms 50 and 20. It says, ye sit around and slander your brother, your own mother's son. While ye did all this, I remained silent, and you thought I didn't care. And that's what they thought. That's why they went so far as to just continue to take our identity and do all of this, because they thought the Most High didn't care, man. But now I will rebuke you, listing all my charges against you. Repent, all of you who forgot me, or I will tear you apart, and no one will help you. But giving thanks is a sacrifice that truly honors me. If you keep my path, I will reveal to you the salvation of the Most High. Damn. This is about to happen, dog. And that's what it's all about. By giving thanks is a sacrifice that truly honors me. So when you pray to the Most High, when you give thanks for any great or small thing that He does for you, right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives, you honor Him, man. You pray, you honor the Most High. If you keep my path, which is these laws, statutes, and His commandments, rehearsing these righteous acts, I will reveal to you the salvation of the Most High. So enduring to the end to be saved, man. This isn't rocket science, but the Heavenly Father has to open your mind so you can understand what these scriptures mean and to be able to receive that and apply it. Civil war is coming soon, folks. Get your household in order. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives, you better start calling on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai before it's too late. I just give all praises and highest honors, man. And like it said, truly honor the Most High and His Son. So with that, I bid you shalom.